Hello, and again. Welcome to... Well, I guess I'm playing GTA again. I'm also going to continue grinding, because that's fun to do. Keep in mind that this is my first attempt at recording with a microphone.
Hey, how can I help you? I guess you get a collection like this when you're the majority shareholder.
Yes, you do. Anyway,
no problem.
So I'm going to be grinding because I want a plane, and I've got most of the cash already. So really all I have to do is source a couple of cars, sell a couple of the cars. Because I learned a neat little trick with my garage, or the vehicle warehouse. I only ever sell top range.
Well, this is different. You're not stealing.
I hate this one. Alright. Anyway, because of this trick, I only ever get top range. Hello, cat. And that means I'm making $80,000 every sale. 80,000 because of this 20,000 subtraction when you launch the job. This is my newest car, newest addition to the roundup. I believe in the last episode I pulled out my Elegy. The Elegy has also changed just a little bit. And we're away. The Elegy's changed a little bit. I got the blue stripes on it. Got a couple of cars in... I got a bunch of cars in my muscle car garage that I never got to show off. So I will be putting out an episode of me just going over all of the cars I have. Actually, all the vehicles overall. It's more than just cars. Motorcycles, any aircraft, trailers, etc. And aircraft as well. I'll put it out with an episode of that. But for the time being, I have to grind because I need $1.2 million base to afford it is the Rogue. I've done the hangar stuff enough to... Yeah, you're good. Anyway. I've done the hangar stuff enough to get the discount on it, so it's only 1.2 mil. So that's what I'll be grinding for. And then right now there is a 25% sale on weapons. So I'm going to get that aircraft as soon as I possibly can so that I can outfit it at a lower cost. This likely won't happen for another couple of months. Or it won't happen again anyway. And to anyone wondering why I spam that while I'm driving or while I'm doing whatever, it's to, one, to bring up the map, see what's on the map, so that's that. It's just a double tap. Or this lets me see if there's any players that join my session. So, to get an empty session like this, unfortunately, Sony has patched the glitch out session, which, I mean, it sucks for some people. It's okay, I understand why they did it. But to do it now, really all you have to do is take a couple minutes out before you start playing, and you hit the start menu, go to online, find new session. You just hit that. You hit that until you find one that's just yourself. And usually players don't get put into the same session as you. If another player joins, you can just shoot them a message, say, hey, I'm friendly, I'm not here to fight, just doing my own thing. Usually other people are pretty okay with that, like, okay, cool, I understand, I'm going to do my thing too, because empty sessions like this are very hard to come by and very, very useful. Take, for instance, me and my grinding. I grab a car, and I sell it without having to worry about someone in the Hydra coming after me. Because we all know how Hydra pilots are. Alright, so we're going to grab this car off this dude. Nice car, bro. More expensive than the one I've got. Not more expensive than the one I've got in the garage. I've got an X82. Okay. Get by. So we just put a bullet in his face because you'll whip out a bat and try to beat you to death. And then the trick I've learned for this very in particular mission, specifically the race to this point, is you can come up over here and head this way, and you can still trigger the NPCs when your car is up here and has no damage on it. So I can whip out the assault rifle, and these guys like to get stuck down there. Okay. I get it, you're upset. Here's a party game. I don't know where he is, but he's not going to be alive. Oh, there he is. Oh, yeah, shirt. Where are you at? Red shirt. You guys are always getting killed. Here's your red shirt, bro. Red shirt. Not blue shirt. Blue shirt's down too. So yeah, you just do this for a couple minutes. I haven't counted the waves because I don't care to, but you'll know when the waves have ended when there's about a minute or so between waves. Then you know there's not going to be any more coming after me. I'm going to not blow my rocket. Rockets are expensive, and if I die, I'm going to lose it. Sliding around down there. That went about as well as I expected. Thankfully no damage yet, so these guys will just drive over the closest point on the road to the car, and then they'll get out and try to get to the car, which is where I can just run in very carefully as to not hit the car itself, which I did. Wonderful. The goal here is not to shoot the car, because if one bullet hits the car, or two I suppose, there's two bullets there, it's a lot of damage. And it hurts the bank account, even though that's my bank account. So, yes, as the hangars have come out, and they are a good way of making money, don't get me wrong. If you've got enough players and you really invest your time into it, hangars are really good for making money. If you've only got you and one other dude, keep doing the car stuff. This continues to make me tens of millions of dollars when I'm either alone or when I've only got one or two friends to help me out. Crash. Sorry, so I'll use some ammo. Left here. Still alive there, dude? Still alive? Okay, he's... Alright, so that should be the last of them. Now, I'm pretty sure that I've already grabbed a couple of vehicles and stored them in the warehouse to sell. So I don't know if this was kind of a redundant car or not, but having more cars is going to be nice, because then if somebody decides to join my session or join the party, which is on private, so nobody can join without my permission. Anyway, if anybody decides to join and help me out, I've got more cars to sell in stock, just for one. And now we begin the long drive back. This is usually one of the most annoying parts, unless it's a chase mission. Anybody that plays these car missions a lot knows the chase missions, and I feel your pain, bro. Anyway, this is the most annoying part because cars like to turn out in front of you for no apparent reason other than to fuck with you. So, I'll just make sure that lag and cars hitting me doesn't happen. Which you can kind of predict it, you can kind of predict where your car is going. Thankfully the X80 handles well enough that I can react in time. But I'm sure you'll see in a minute here, as I'm driving, cars will try to turn out in front of me, pull out in front of me. Or the other one I've noticed is if you hit one from behind, instead of getting out of your way, they will stop and keep you from progressing. Yep, there we go. So there's one. You gotta watch out for those guys. Along here especially. There's the exits there. There's, I suppose, entrances and exits. You can see them pull out a little bit farther ahead. And I've learned, don't turn this way when they're turning in front of you. So don't head to your right, like that. Go left around them. So the space they occupy now, in a few seconds they won't occupy anymore. Because they're moving away from that spot, right? So take for instance this car here, right? When he passes over that dot there, right? The manhole there. If I were to turn into him, hit the car again. If I were to turn into him at that very moment and turn towards him, by the time I've turned, he's already past that point. And I won't hit him anymore, because he's not there. However, if I turn to actively hit a car, which I won't in this car because it will be extended. I don't want to pay money. If I actively turn to hit a car and track it rather. So if I pull up next to a car and instead of turning like that, say he no longer occupies that space, instead of turning like that, I turn and track him, then you are going to hit the car, hence the tracking. The other thing you can do, and this works for ballistics as well, in games like Battlefield or Arma, or I believe PUBG also has it. I haven't played much, or haven't watched much either. Either way, with ballistics, don't aim for the vehicle when you're at range. Or not vehicle, but I guess opposed player, or whoever you're shooting at. Don't aim for the vehicle. Aim a little bit in front of them. So when they're moving forward, and you're T-boning them, right? So you're coming at them from the side. When you fire directly on top of that target, by the time the round reaches that target, the target has already moved away from that space. Because your bullet will take time to travel as well. Where, if you aim in front, like if I turn out here, instead of at the same time, by the time I reach that spot, or by the time the bullet reaches where you've pointed it, the target will have gone to that spot. And that's what leading the target does. I'll try to explain more. I'll pull out a sniper rifle. I'll show you. Pardon, excuse me. I'm just putting my card in the board. Okay. So bear with me a moment. Okay, actually I would like to see... Yeah, bugger off. I actually recently got a new controller and it's not as broken as the old one. So you'll notice when I turn, it's smooth. I still subconsciously go down a little bit because the other one, when you point left, would actually go up like this. So left and right actually went up and or diagonally up and to the left, or diagonally down to the right, which was annoying as hell. And then, of course, pushing forward if you didn't find the perfect sweet spot. And I mean, it's like freaking millimeter of a sweet spot. Yeah, I've got lots of cars. No, wait. I wanted to show the ballistics. Alright, anyway. If you didn't hit that sweet spot, then you'd either stop moving or you wouldn't move properly. And just the other day, it got to the point where moving forward, I'd stop completely and then continue, and it was very annoying. So I made a trade with my friend Mike. You might see him in future episodes. I don't know. He'll be on probably today at some point, which I'll record another episode, maybe. And anyway, so he gave me a controller. I traded it for Practice Chanter for the bagpipes, because he and I are in a pipe band together. Or were. I don't know what the story is now. Anyway, okay, so ballistics. We're watching these people walk, right? With ballistics, if I pulled the trigger now, if I were at a long enough range, okay, if that happened. Anyway, if I were at long enough range, by the time my bullet reaches him, or reaches where he was, he would have moved, right?
Hey!
Yeah, bugger off. So if I shoot, let's find something to shoot. If I shoot the car now, like I've got my reticle on it, sure. And in GTA there is no ballistics, and not realistic ballistics anyway. If I were to shoot right there, by the time the bullet reaches, the car's already gone. Which is where leading the target comes in, where you would shoot here. And then the car would drive into the bullet. Yes, I've got a suppressor on the Deagle, even though it's an amazing gun. And it sounds awesome when it's not suppressed. However, I needed the suppressor on one of my powerful pistols purely because of stealth missions. And having a suppressed pistol is very helpful. Okay. Hello, officers. Always go for the shotgun first because he'll get you at range, or not at range, but he'll get you close. I love how this is turned into a tips and tricks. Anyway, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and sell a car because I need a mission. So officer first, and then the guys at range will get you. So, anyway, let's sell a car. What am I going to sell? Am I going to sell the Osiris, or am I going to sell the X80? I think I'll do the X80. I'll make myself an Iron Brew Mobile again, which is what the X80 I have used to look like, but I changed it up to be Pretentious Dick. That's not the car I want. Can I please hit the right buttons? Thank you. That's not the right one. We'll do the X80 and we'll do an Iron Brew Mobile. Purely for the fun of making the Iron Brew Mobile again. Apologies.
Okay, let's get it ready to ship.
Get the tracker off. I like the black. Primary color
Prison inmates.
was... This one was the orange, I believe. So we're going to hunt for the orange. There it is. Orange. believe it was regular orange, not bright orange. And in the secondary, we're going to do, I believe, yeah, it's down here. A regular blue? Yes, regular blue. So that's your basic colors.
I can still
That's your
work a spray
respray.
can.
What did I have? The bumper would have been orange. I actually didn't put a horn on it, so we'll leave it like that. Headlights, neon kit, we're going to do all of them, and we're going to do orange, of course. Skirts, we'll do in blue. Spoiler, I like the enhanced GT just because of the way it's shaped. So that's the one I had on there. And then, of course, blacked out windows.
Not bad.
The
Yes,
wheels,
me.
actually, I left stock. Because the stock rims on here do look pretty good. And we'll just do orange smokes. And that's essentially how my car used to be built. I had full mods in it and everything, so it drove like, you know, your average X80.
After
Oh yeah, this is bringing back memories. Driving around with this thing. I'll pull up my X80 as it is now. Ooh, hang on. So before you get too far, because I'm in a solo session and there's nobody else in the session, GTA sends NPCs after me. So I go this way, and there's this green sign here. You pull in right here. Try not to crash, and the NPCs spawn with enough time left for you to put the car in cover without letting them get a shot on it. And then you can use cover however you want. I like to use sticky bombs because you can predict where the cars are going to go. Okay. From time to time, they will flank you, which is even easier because then you just drop that. Okay, a little early. Okay, and I blew myself up. Anyway, you can sticky bomb the right spots, and they're a lot more predictable when they try to flank you, like they did there. Now they're going to move on the car before moving towards me. So you really got to watch that you don't hit the car, because that is a pain in the ass. So yeah, we've got, you can flank through here and you can just lay down a sticky mine, or a sticky bomb right there, or a proximity mine. Actually, they're coming this way anyway. You lay a proximity bomb, or sticky bomb. Sticky bomb, proximity mine. Because you know where they're coming from, and then you know the route they're going to take. So it's very predictable, very easy to just blow them up as they pass it. Up here, however, which apparently they're not going to take, there are a few spots they'll stop. And essentially what you can do is, as they start to build up, because vehicles will build up as you deal with wave after wave, you can lay bombs on the cars that have built up and detonate them as the other vehicles get close, because they tend to pile up, which will create a massive explosion, and it'll be all fun in the games, and woohoo, it's fun and action, woo. So I'll finish this sail real quick, and okay, so I think we're actually clear now. I don't know if I can get the whole episode together. Problem is that because of the way that you record clips in through PlayStation 4, you can't really start and stop where you want it to start and stop. So you have to set a limit, and it records the last however long your limit is. So I've got mine set to half an hour. So whatever the last half hour contained is what you're going to get. So the beginning of the video might just cease to exist because of that. So what I might end up doing is I'll set it to an hour and only record half-hour little skits. That way I know I'm getting the full episode if I go over that half-hour time limit. And at least, it's not like I'll be uploading the whole hour, of course. I can trim it, right? So you can cut, you can edit it to an extent. If you saw in the last episode, there was, I cut just after I pulled up the phone or whatever it was. And, okay, thank you. I pulled up the phone and it cut immediately. In the recording I had, I called my mechanic and called in a car, then cut the video. And I hit another car, which also sucks. I always turn early there, just because it levels out again before another incline. Anyway, so I can trim it. I can cut it. It's called trim. Anyway, so it won't be the full hour, but at least that way I know I'm getting the whole thing. Ah, okay, that was a bad one. Feels bad. I suck. I think it's because I feel like this is my own car. And I'm driving like it is my own car. Not that... I mean... I'm supposed to drive it like it's... You don't touch this car. But in reality, I'm driving it like it's my car, and I'm not afraid of smashing it. It's just inconvenient. Whereas in this situation, it's costing me $3,162, which ultimately isn't a lot of money, but I guess every penny counts, right? Yeah, that'll do it for this episode of more GTA grinding. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stay tuned for more. Thank you for watching, and see you around.